I would never be begging a nigga to be with me after he got a baby on the way. I would never be having matching t-shirts on with a nigga that got a baby on the way. I would never be trying to play family with a nigga that got a baby on the way. I would never want to be with a nigga that burnt me while I was pregnant. I would never want to be a bitch like that. I would never be telling random people that my baby daddy burnt me. I would never tell nobody no shit like that. I would never tell random people that my baby daddy cheated on me our whole relationship, my whole pregnancy, that he cheated on me. I would never, you could never get me to tell no shit like that to no random people that I don't fucking know. I would never want to have a job to where I'm wiping old people's ass and giving old people showers and feeding them and shit. I would never want to have a job like that. I would never want to have a job that my car was in the shop for 2 years. I couldn't get it out. I would never want to have a job like that. I'm wiping ass and I ain't got no car still. I would never want no job like that. I would never want to be with a nigga that done got so many bitches pregnant during the time that I've known him. I would never want to be with a nigga like that. I would never want to be with a nigga that didn't play in my face for damn near 10 years. I would never want to be with a nigga like that. I'm getting me a new nigga ASAP. I would never have a big ass birthday party and have to catch a ride to my birthday party because I don't have a car. I would never want to be a bitch that was carless for almost 3 years. And that motherfucker still raggedy was just on the side of the road the other day, stuck, looking for a ride. That piece of shit. I would never want to be a bitch that's living in a hotel for 2 months, or was it 3 months? I would never want to be a bitch that gotta move every year. I would never want to be a bitch that got cheated on for 8 years, 9 years straight. Not a month, not a day off. Cheated on the whole time. I would never want to be a bitch.
I need a high price of hope I can shop with. Gave my whole 10 G's, told her spend the shit. See my high girl ride Lexus coupe, bitch. And she got the matching rolling hoe floss your shit. And she got the matching mink for the winter, bitch. I see a real high girl, can't be faded, bitch. Roll the dice, hit the step, no crap, bitch. She got the brand new Rover off the show real quick. Customized TVs all through that shit. Yokohama 20-inch dubs on that bitch. I see my cash money high girl floss her shit. Ride
for me right here when you waking up. Breakfast on the table, know you like eggs and now scrambled up. Pancakes, bacon, OJ on the side. Pack your bag with extra clothes, your toothbrush and a Louis Vuitton love notes for when you on the road. Cleaned your watch and Cuban links, so pillowcase for you to take. Boy, you deserve a little thing. Yeah, just wanna take some time to thank you and let you know just how you make me proud. The good times make up for the bad ones.
Never gave a damn, I ain't never gave no fuck. No, fell out with them hoes, we ain't never making no fuck. Back for everything I ever lost, I'm on the mission. We turned the whole house into a booth, we in the kitchen. Let her cook. Big low come through frying shit. Hey, let her cook. Okay.
Honor of being my wife, I will is ended, and time begins again.
That bitch say that she don't understand me. Fuck it, I be flexing, my money coming handy. I gotta get this money and the
I heard bitches was debating if I'm still one of them ones. Is a fruit roll-up sticky? Nothing's changed over here.
Up in a brand new bench talk, how about fresher than a mentor? Little nigga, but I'm big dog. All I gotta make is one call. Hit a nigga block, took off. Cross a nigga up, high sauce. Ooh, I got a man, my fault. Talking about the shit that I bought. Popping these first, I didn't turn to a second. 100 racks stuffed in the Vex. 100 racks stuffed in the Addy. 100 racks stuffed in the sofa. These niggas play gangster, but they won't approach me.
Stop grabbing stuff. What? You just try to pinch me and shit. Dang.
I'm ready to do what I do. Baby, what you wanna do? Shoot your shot, cause I'm bulletproof. Load it up and do. Baby, what you wanna do? I'm ready to pull up on you. I'm ready.
But I already know what I am. They know I only wanna come over, put it on them. I got that whoa, nah, nah, nah. He drink that shit.
If pretty was a person, if pretty was a person, if pretty was a person, it'd be you.
Bunch of whole crew, not a fraction. Ooh, that ass fat, might as well throw it back. Ooh, that ass fat, might as well throw it back. Ooh, that ass fat, might as well throw it back. Throw that ass back, bitch, throw that ass back, damn.
Oh, we got fans out of Atlanta. Come on, hit it one time. Ain't free, she call on my line. Ain't late, use my slime. Come on, we get caught for the time. Come on. Come on.
Quick question, when y'all be in everybody else's business and not y'all own, y'all be getting paid for that? I thought manage your business, hoe.
2 years later.
We're home. Ain't that what you said? I'm at home. You ain't nowhere near home. You ain't nowhere near at home. And I'm ringing both bells. What you study land for? I knew you was pulling up to a bitch crib. That's why you blocked me. Like I said, you was pulling up to her crib. Bitch, I ain't stupid. Y'all whole lights on up there and everything. Who the fuck you think you lying to, Carlos? All you do is lie. All you fucking do is lie. All your ass do is lie. Bitch, who was just on the phone with me for 45 minutes driving to a bitch house arguing with me, and whole time you pulling up to a bitch crib.
I see her every motherfucking day before she brush her teeth or wash her ass or feed her child. She just be wanting to hear my voice, G. Like, she's obsessed with me so bad, it's ridiculous. Now she's talking about, I got her jacket. We got the same jacket. This bitch is so happy that me and her got the same jacket. This jacket's so motherfucking old, G. This shit came out 2-3 years ago. I been had this jacket. Oh, because I didn't take a picture in this jacket. It's a normal jacket. Like, I've been having shit. I don't got to take a picture in a jacket. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, this bitch is obsessed that me and her got the same jacket, and she's on the line telling people that I have on her jacket, but we have the same jacket. Gee, these people is weird. Crazy. Get some help. Call 911.
Don't leave your son out. Now this up, this off. Come on, Ricardo.
If I see that twin around you, I'ma crack her ass.
What the fuck away from me?
I had on a whole new Dolce & Gabbana shirt, though. That's the outfit. The jacket, the coat, is not a part of the outfit. That's to keep warm in. Clock that T. I had on Dolce & Gabbana. I had Dolce & Gabbana on last year, too. Stay Dolce & Gabbana the fuck down. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with a bitch like me, okay? Bitches are weird. Clock that, friend.
You want to sit on the phone and sneak this me to a red ass bitch?
You go right to jail.
With her friend? You want to sneak this me? Yes, she did. She a slut. She a slut, and her friend just said it. I got her, and she said, record me. And then if any one of them want to lie, call me for them hoes. For you, Kaya, and Holly. She said, call her.
I told Kaya.
Hey, Mari,
My
you.
homegirl said she finna go on me with Loso when she was saying, bitch, I'm gonna make them come and be with me. But I've been friends.
What we talking about? But I'm lying? But I'm lying? But I'm lying? But I'm lying?
Want to be a bitch that calls my baby daddy phone every motherfucking day, all day, worried about his second baby mama. I would never want to compete with a bitch like me. I would never be trying to compare myself to a bitch like me. I'm that bitch.
Broadcast busy for the Unison 1. We're getting 2 calls on the board. First, it came in as a battery in progress, Sarmacan State. 4 male and 2 females fighting outside on the street, white car and black car on scene. Second ticket coming on the board right now says a person with a gun at 2200 South State. You got a female black, light complexion, green tracksuit, has a gun, fighting with another female black, dark complexion, occupant of a white car. No further.
She shot her. I was telling her she shot her.
She's the one who shot her.
She's the one who shot her.
Restraining order, but she shot her.
The gun in the car. The gun's in the car. Oh my fucking God.
I'm baby in the car. How you feel? She didn't talk her. Get up. You scared as hell, right? Scared as hell. She's scared as hell. That is not self-defense. You were trying to self in the car, bro. You were trying to in the car, bro. What are you talking about? You had her in a headlock. And then you shot her, Brody. I was there. I'll write a statement. Don't worry about it.
I want her arrested. There's a fucking gun on the street. I'm licensed to carry.
It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter, bitch.
You shot somebody, nigga. What the fuck wrong with you?
Calm down. Calm the fuck down.
He out his mother. He out his. She put the gun in the car. The gun, she shot her? This girl right here. She shot her. She shot her. She put the gun in the car.
Hey, this car, buddy.
She walked off. What the hell?
Yeah, because she got shot and
You
walked
had
out.
her in a fucking
Why didn't
headlock
she
and
put
you
her in
know
the
it.
car?
You fucking know it. You fucking know it. You're fucking bogus as fuck. For letting her get fucking shot, you asshole.
And then now you want to be standing over here like, oh,
That the captain's table on my head, the one in the bridge. She hit it on. You let her fucking get shot.
And she was the girl that shot. This her car right here. She was standing on the doorway. What do you mean dead, bro? What do you mean she's dead, bro? Because of you. What you mean? Look, she's dead. She's dead, bro. She's dead. What do you mean? Nigga, that's your fault. You had that bitch. Because I witnessed the whole fucking thing. Because I watched the whole thing, nigga. What are you talking about? I walked right there. Yeah, I seen that girl on the fucking car.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Killed in the South Loop is speaking out for the first time about her daughter's death.
WGN's Jewel Hillary spoke with her, and she is in the South Loop now with more.
According to CPD, the person taken into custody for allegedly fatally shooting 31-year-old Romeca Meeks Blackman is released without charges. In the midst of her unbearable pain, Romeca's mom says she's eagerly seeking justice.
I want justice. She didn't deserve it under no circumstances.
Gripped with grief, Tina McMiller's loved ones embraced her tightly as they gathered across the street from the intersection of Cermak Road near State Street, where her 31-year-old daughter, Romeca Meeks Blackman, was fatally shot Monday morning after dropping her son off at school.
We want justice.
Described as kind, sweet, loving, very supportive, and an amazing mom, Romeca was working and studying to become a nurse. Right before her death, police say a fight broke out. The suspect, who sources say Romeca knew, allegedly pulled out a gun and shot Romeca in the face, killing her, according to CPD.
My baby was dropping her baby off to school. And what hurt the most is I didn't get my morning phone call.
Police say since Monday's arrest, the offender has been released without charges. They wouldn't share further details other than saying they can't comment on specifics of ongoing investigations.
The family is unaware of what the police are doing, so we can't answer those questions. What we would like is that justice come in the form of accountability.
As the family seeks justice, community organizers are putting pressure on lawmakers to ensure laws meant to help curb violence are effective. They're also challenging them to do more.
The state of Illinois, we're calling on them to open an office of civility. Civility has steps to be able to deal with the issue of violence.
Through her heartache, Tina is seeking strength to raise her 6-year-old grandson.
That's a hard man shoes to fill with the connection that was between him and his mama.
A balloon release ceremony in honor of Romeca is scheduled for tonight at 7 at 68th and Normal. Reporting on the near south side, I'm Jewel Hillary.
Love you so much, twin. Justice for Romeca. Huh?
So y'all don't get to stand for everybody else.
Put them up, y'all. Thank you, Callie. God bless. Thank you. Yeah, man.
Justice for me. 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 Justice for me.
The butterfly is literally.
Justice for me.
Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me.
Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me.
Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me.
Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Justice for me. Now, we demand justice. She was murdered in the middle of the street. It could be your daughter. It could be your family member. We demand justice. It could be your daughter. It could be your family member. We demand justice. We demand justice. We demand justice. It could be your family member. She was murdered in the middle of the street. We demand justice.
Justice for
Romeca. We demand justice. It could be your family member. It could be your family member. It could be your daughter. She was murdered in the middle of the street. We demand justice.
Justice for Romeca.
You guys are insulting my daughter and me. We are grieving. I don't need nobody to be acting like we can't bury my baby. So go on with that. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I have not got on here and said nothing. I have not got on here and did nothing. But you guys are doing a little bit too much right now.
Let him take nothing. Come on, General.
I don't make Facebook pages.
That's all right. I'm about to go laugh.
I don't do all that. I don't even have a Facebook. I don't appreciate you. We don't need nothing from nobody. My sister good. So all y'all making them fake pages, go find me, man. Don't support none of that. Don't support none of that. We don't need nothing. Stop putting that. Stop making them fake. Go find me pages, them fake pages that they making for fundraising. That's not our people. So I appreciate it, y'all. Whoever got love for her, y'all put this out there and y'all let her know. This is not what we doing. We don't need no GoFundMe. So whoever putting it up, stop it. All
right, man. This ain't that. I'm gonna fucking see you white. I ain't nothing. I ain't my mama. I ain't young. Everybody know the fuck I am. And she do wear designer. And don't fucking put my motherfucking nephew on that like that no more. He don't need no money. He gonna be fresh as hell. When the class get closed, goof ass.
I'm ready to party.
Rah-rah. I got you.
We love you. People came over, no one left over, and it was all for you. It was all for you.
Let them do.
And it was all Love you, Romeca!
You might just want to wait.
Smile, baby.
Into this world, and this certain.
I know you looking down, smiling at me. I pray that.
No one left over, and it was all for you. It was all for you. We love you. We love you, mama. Forever Meeks. Forever Meeks. We love you, Meeks.
Where's my brother? Can somebody please get my brother?
Somebody get tired, y'all. Somebody please get tired. We love you, Ma. We love y'all. I love you, sister. Forever Meeks. And never, and never, and never. We love you, Meeks. Don't play with my girl. Still the biggest. They couldn't take you on your first.
So the police report of Holly Johnson shooting and killing Romeca Meeks has been released. The incident happened on 20 West Cermak Road about 9:06 in the morning, okay? That is the same street that the school sits on. So for the people that are saying she pulled up at Carlos' house, let's go ahead and knock that out, okay? The first call to the police was about a domestic dispute. And then another call came in saying that shots was fired, okay? By the time that the reporting officers got to the scene, Romeca was already on the floor. Also, this is a BWC, a body web camera recorded event. When the police got there, they said that Romeca was on the floor with blood basically gushing out her mouth. So they put her on the side, okay? Because you can't suffocate from blood. And I do want to mention that a witness said when Romeca got shot, Carlos was picking her up and then he laid her on the floor, okay? So that's why we don't want to hear all that grieving. We don't want to hear it because you had the chance to de-escalate the situation and you had the chance to render aid to Romeca, but you didn't because your other baby mother was there. According to the report, it was 3 shots let off and 1 live round in the gun, okay? They said that the gun actually jammed, so she tried to empty the clip on Romeca. And another thing I want to say, that baby was in the car the whole time. That baby was in the car the whole time. The 6-month-old child is on the police report, okay? So after she shot Romeca 3 to 4 times, well, 3 times because one of the bullets got jammed, she then went to her car, placed the gun with a live bullet on the floor while her child was in the car. So I'm going to go ahead and call her a bad mother right there because what mother even fights by having a child with them? Okay, and then you have a gun and you're letting off shots with your baby with you. Okay, this ain't no, oh, she was gonna get my baby. Okay, something tells me Romeca got hit unexpectedly, meaning this whole thing was so unexpected, but Holly knew what was going on. Okay, she knew she was in town in Shitcago. She knew she was around Romeca's son's school. And I'm sure she said to Carlos, if I see your baby mama and she try me, I'm killing her. I'm shooting her. That's why she did it so quick, because it was already pre-planned. Carlos knew that. Another thing, Carlos is an annual gun offender registration. He is not supposed to be nowhere near guns, okay? So if you know in the streets, those men that are not supposed to be around weapons, they will usually go have their girlfriend go get a gun registered in her name so he could, you know, still tote the gun, but it's registered to his girl. But my thing with the police, I'm very surprised they did not arrest him immediately, being that he was involved with someone's murder. He's riding around with his girl with this pistol and the baby in the car. That is enough right there to arrest him. Everything on his old mugshot is somehow similar to what happened. Domestic battery, right. Out there fighting Romeca in the annual gun offender registration.
Hear me now? Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
She crawled to him. And when she crawled to him,
That
he
is the
wasn't even
witness.
doing anything but poking at her. So that's what I saw.
That is a
Okay.
witness.
So let me ask
And
you a question, right? Just to clear this part up. I don't want to keep you here long. I know, you know what I'm saying, you might be, doing what you do.
you already know, Keith.
Yeah. But I'm saying, right, did he at one point, at any time, did he try to turn her over to stop her?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. From what I saw, he had her. It is what I said. What it was. He's got the real story. I told him.
Question.
It is what it is.
I got a question.
Whatever you got going on, you with the green, whatever it is. I don't know who got you up here. Whatever you got saying, whatever it is.
I got a
They got
question
you
for
lying
you.
up here, Brody. I'm just letting you know. Keys knows the whole truth.
I got a question for you. Why is it being said that you and your boyfriend not coming back in to get y'all statements or some shit like that?
Keys already knows what's going on. Keys already knows what's going on. I don't gotta fucking say nothing. I told Keys.
Okay. Well,
I was the one that was yelling out to arrest her because everybody wasn't doing anything. I was actually the one who called the cops first. And I saw them when they were fighting in the beginning. And I was like, this is not right. He was slamming her with the door when she was standing in her door frame, not even close to the female on the other side. So she was literally standing on the other side of the road, and her baby daddy was literally slamming the door on her back. So she went back into her car, came back out, and then this was when the baby daddy walked towards the other baby mama. After this happened, he grabbed her by the waist. She tried to wiggle away from him. Her arm was like literally almost getting free with his arm around her neck this time, because he was holding her by the waist in the beginning and she wiggled out, After this happened, he had her in the almost looking like a headlock to me on the side, and then the other baby mama stated, "I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. Watch me shoot you, bitch." And he stated, she's gonna go get her gun. She's gonna go get her gun. Watch. And after this happened, she ran to the passenger side of her vehicle, grabbed her gun, went around, and when the woman, the mother, who slipped away from him for at least maybe a good second, as soon as she slipped away, she shot her. And she shot her in the face, on her side, and in her thigh. And I saw him holding her for a split second. Maybe he was in shock, but after he was in shock, I guess he picked her up, and when she was falling, a gush of blood fell, out of her body. And I was like, what the fuck is he doing? I don't know, everybody else sees movies, you know what I mean, and they see put pressure on the wound. Why weren't you putting pressure on the wound? Why weren't you caring enough? This supposedly was your first baby mama, because when I was on the bus, I heard him and her screaming, and she was literally saying, she was like, "I just dropped off my fucking baby." What? I just dropped off my fucking baby. Are you guys kidding me? As soon as I got off the 21 bus, and trust me, they got it. You know what I mean? Everything that I literally had to, I wasn't gonna let her die like that. I literally looked into her eyes.
Romeca Meeks' baby father has uploaded videos from the past of Romeca trying to assault him, where she pulls up on him and have weapons and tries to hit him with things, or she would threaten him basically. And his now baby mama, the one that pulled the firearm out on Romeca, his now baby mama was arrested on the scene, but she has been released from jail due to the fact that they say it was self-defense, and they were able to prove that it was self-defense. The whole entire time Romeca was the aggressor, but the timeline of the situation just doesn't make sense. Romeca was taking her son to school, so I'm kind of confused on that. He said Holly, the baby mama that's still alive, but she's not found guilty. She won't be charged with anything as of for right now. I feel like he was playing in both of their face. He was messing around with both of them, and somebody was jealous. Romeca probably was jealous. She wanted his attention. She wanted him to do for her son as well, and he wasn't giving that attention. or he would go to Romeca's house and not give his other baby mama attention. And it just got messy. It got real messy where it was toxic to the point where it took for his now baby mama to take the life of Romeca. And allegedly they was fighting, both baby mamas was fighting at first. Her baby father Carlos did end up putting Romeca in a headlock. That's when the other baby mama went to the car and got her firearm and fired at Romeca.
Hey cousin, so I see a lot of people stating that Holly's family is now coming out stating that Romeca was bullying Holly. If that was the case, let's give a scenario if this really did happen, right? Because that's what they're saying. They're saying that Los and Holly was standing outside of his place when Romeca had dropped the little boy off, and she rode past Los' house to see if he was outside or just to see if, she saw him. And she seen him and Holly. She made a U-turn, came back, and jumped out the car and tried to fight Holly. He was basically trying to defuse it. This is what they're saying, right? If this girl was really trying to get at you, why did you have to pow that girl 4 times? You could have pow that girl 1 time. You didn't have to pow her at all. But if you was going to do it, if you felt like she was such a threat, why not pow at her leg or something? Why you had to pow her? They said she hit her right here and her face.
Was not ready to enter the light, the white light. She wants justice, and she's not going anywhere until she receives justice for what happened to her. She wants both of them to go away forever because she says it was premeditated. They planned on doing this to her. But she says the instigator is her son's father. He put her up to it, is what Romeca is saying. He put this female up to it. This is what he does. Everybody knows how he is. He gets people. He becomes really cool with people, especially women, and he uses them to do his dirty work. That's what he does. She was the only dumb one to fall for it. Romeca says people don't even mess with him like that anyway.
So that's Romeca's bummy baby daddy, Carlos, in the video, and they were having a family day. Ladies, do not allow these men to triangulate you. They will drag you to hell. Please be careful who you have a child with, because unfortunately, a lot of these baby daddies are the ops. I'm sorry, but if you have hopes and dreams in life, somehow, some way, that man will find some way to derail it or get some pick-me woman to derail it, but he will definitely have a hand in derailing it. I'm just thinking about looking at this woman's page, and she had a growing TikTok, and she was also doing things in her personal life. She had her own house. What does this man do? Probably nothing, right? This is devastating.
The fact that Romeca's son's father is getting more publicity, and the fact that he didn't stop what happened in comparison to the actual murderer that actually pulled the trigger on Romeca is the exact example of why the world consistently bows down at the sin of a woman and continues to overshadow her own sin to continue to blame the man. It's diabolical.
know this might sound bad, but I kind of hold Romeca family to a certain extent. And the reason being is because they came out here and said it wasn't no controlling Romeca, right? That Romeca was a fireball or something like that, and there was no controlling her. Well, they could have just suggested her to go to some type of counseling or may even be medicated or something. You know, if she was such this fireball, right? She was such this cannon, this person that can't be controlled, right? I do believe that they should have, talked to her. Especially I heard that they've lost like 2 or 3 family members to the same type of violence. I mean, If I love my loved ones, I would try to talk to them and you know what I mean? And what I won't do is try to come out here and put the blame all on someone else and try to paint my family member as a saint. I wouldn't do that. I would not do that. She said she couldn't be calmed and she had lethal hands. Well, they weren't that lethal. It didn't. Let me shut up. Yes, it could be a simple chemical imbalance. Yeah, she could have been medicated. There's a lot of mental health going on, right? A lot of mental health going on. But to come out here and try to make it seem like, oh, I just want justice. I just want justice. I just want justice. And don't really think about it and try to put everything together and realize that your daughter was wrong, your aunt, your niece was wrong, your whoever, they was wrong for violating a restraining order in the first place. Yeah, it hurts that you lost a loved one, but at the end of the day, she was where she was not supposed to be that particular moment.
Ooh, I heard Sway man.
Oh my God! Who the hell's at the house looking like that? I'm gonna turn up on the salon that did her hair like that. What were they thinking?
I don't get it.
Go back. Try again, boo boo. Try again, boo boo. Ew. OMG, what do she have on? She ratchet. Her lace front is all wrong. Cause she rich. Give me the phone. I'm finna take this hell for a picture. Cause she ratchet. Got it. I'm about to put this girl on Twitter. You know you ratchet. Cause I ain't got time for this. I'm too grown. See you ratchet. Boy, bye. Now with them shoes on. He ratchet. Ooh, I just wanna punch her in her face. I can't stand her. Oh, she too fake. She ratchet. Girl, let me tell you what I got my Mr. Girl, a baby boy. And it came with a sister. Girl, yes, I'm pregnant, but I still hit the club. I'm in the middle of the floor with no shoes. Where's up? I had to get cute today. Apple bottom jean fur boots today. I had to keep it looking good, cause my baby daddy just made bail. He a thug, he a shoot today. New baby, need new shoes today. And child support check get two today. Got my tracks yesterday. Hey girl, did you get the glue today? Gon' be feet up. Move, tramp. It's the 15, I got my food stamps. Got a brand new piercing, brand new tack. Paid $95 for this weave plus tax. Bow, been a thing over while I spank my thumb. No red hair, this can't alone. Let's let the track off the back of a rat that's whack. If she ever talk to smack and she thinks you wrong. Whatever, see a lie, my number, bye bye. Ooh, here she come, girl.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This will likely be my final production of the year on this channel, given how busy I am. I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna re-edit another video that YouTube was crying about had copyrighted content, even though that was a fucking lie when they said it, the way they claimed it. And that, along with the remaining videos that I have in Premiere Queue that you can see on my channel, will be the final content of the year. Given everything that's going on, don't really know what's going to happen going into next year. I can only assume I'm going to continue producing content to some extent. Don't know with what frequency, but I do want to say that I am happy to still be here with you guys after all these years. It has been a long time, 8 years on this channel as of this year, and if we make it to 9, that will be wonderful. So thank all of you who've been there since day one. Thank you, those of you newcomers. Thank you, those of you who I inspire. And thank you to those of you who have not only learned things from my content, but taught me things in the comments or in the chat box that I was not aware of previously. So, in this video, I'm gonna touch on this drama that occurred a couple of months ago, back towards the end of summer, between these two stinky footer thotbots. You could even call them thotbots, because they were both involved in a violent altercation that wound up with one of them dead. Romeca Meeks Blackman and Holly Johnson. Now, to be honest with you, I avoided paying attention to this story for the longest time, because I really initially I didn't see any interest in it. It was just two typical Chicago weave rats that, you know, were born and bred to raise hell, and, you know, got in the wrong drama with the wrong person and fucked around and found out. This is something that happens on a daily basis in the so-called black community. You know, these hoes and their pookies getting smoked left and right, doing stupid shit. They cry about white folks and white police officers killing them, but they kill their own stupid asses tenfold every single fucking day. You know, just as far as I was concerned, as a matter of fact, as far as I'm still concerned, it's just another group of dumbass bitches, you know, getting what they asked for. You know, although one got off light, but we'll get to that shortly. But as I continue to not only analyze this story, but analyze all of the backlash from these selective, outraged, angry black hell thoughts that were raising hell about this situation on all across social media back when it happened, back around the time when it happened, something started to dawn on me that I haven't really touched on really in any of my videos. Thinking back, I can't really remember one time. I may have mentioned it, I just don't remember. This situation of the hypocrisy of black women when it comes to being mature enough and having enough self-control to just walk away from situations with these niggers that they call their baby daddies. Now, I want to circle back to that. But first, and there were some other issues that I noticed concerning this specific story that really is a microcosm of a larger issue with the dysfunction of black women in every form. Okay? And of course the black community at large. But before we get into all of that, just give you a brief summary, a brief rundown of the nonsensical bullshit that went down, as if you didn't already hear it. I'll give you my version. So basically, there was this 31-year-old thought, Romeca Meeks Blackman. Her friends and social media identify her as aka Romeca Meeks, not mentioning her last name too much. She was at one point engaged to this pookie-fied Negro that some people claimed, though I can't verify that he batted from both sides of the plate, that he was bisexual. Some people are saying that's not true. I don't know. I don't care. His name's Carlos Way, aka Losos or Lasos. You know, he has one of them stupid ass Chicago street nigger nicknames. You know how that goes. You know, they think that makes them more cool. It just proves further how fucking illiterate they are, because not a single one of those nicknames make any fucking sense. But he's one of these fake ass drill beat niggas. And from my understanding, from what I could gather, they were together off and on, more on than off, for 8 years. And they had a kid together. And Romeca, she's posting up all these videos and pictures of her with their child. They're taking family photos. And, you know, she's showing him off. You know, she's showing out in her little skirt and heels. And, you know, at first it seemed like just a happy, ghetto, fabulous family. But I guess one thing led to another. Carlos Way's penis got to talking to him a little too hard, and he decided to take his penis and himself and go explore the market of fresh young pussy, and came across this other hoe, Holly Johnson, aka Quadasia Johnson. That's her real name, but she went by Holly Johnson. This young yellow bone thot, also from Chicago, from what I gathered, also 31 years old. And from my understanding, he had been cheating with Holly and probably a few other whores behind Romeca's back for at least a year before finally getting Holly, aka Quadasia, or should I say Quadasia, aka Holly, pregnant. And Romeca somehow found out about it, and she started going berserk, as black females, especially ghetto dark-skinned black females, typically do. And she started threatening him, assaulting him, got Holly's number somehow, started harassing her friends on social media, started stalking Carlos when she suspected that he was with Holly. Even went to her, even recorded a video of her going to Holly's apartment when she accused Carlos of being with her up in the apartment, while lying to him, saying that he was lying to her, saying that he was going somewhere else over the phone when they were having an argument. And so I guess one thing led to another, and they broke up with each other. I don't know who broke it off with who. All I know is the next thing you know, you see Mr. Carlos Way, aka Losos. He is in videos at a baby shower party with Holly Johnson, his new baby mother. And his new baby mother, you know, she's showing off her belly bump, and then she has the kid, and you know, now Romeca's really pissed. You know, she's turning up the heat on the harassment and the threats. And so Holly Johnson, she kind of snaps back at Romeca by filing a restraining order against her in a Chicago court, and also releasing a couple of videos on TikTok. One of them infamously titled I Would Never ... And in her I Would Never video, she was, you know, basically trying to clown Romeca by indirectly putting all her business out there, talking about how she didn't have a car for 2 years and she has a job as a nurse, aka CNA. For the record, I just want to put this out here, because I know this from both family members and just black women in general that enter the medical field. An overriding majority of them are not doctors, and they are not nurses, as in RNs. An overriding majority of black females that enter the medical field are certified nurses assistants. Okay, so when you see them all over social media, you know, in their scrubs, you know, talking about, you know, their boss bitches, or, you know, they got their education and, you know, they're making all this money. In reality, a lot of them are CNAs, and CNAs are not certified at the level that registered nurses are. registered nurses in a lot of states are actually they're not doctors by any stretch of the imagination, but they are considered physicians. Okay, most of these females in these hospitals, in these nursing homes, are not physicians. They're nurse assistants, meaning they're basically like the fieldwork secretary of the nurses. The nurses, you know, they do all of the technical stuff, the paperwork write-ups, and the nurses assistants do all the dirty work. Well, anyway, you know, Holly is, you know, she's talking mad shit about Romeca wiping old folks' asses. And, you know, she's just trying to clown Romeca as people typically do when they have beef that spills over onto the internet. And, you know, she's talking about I would never fuck with a nigga that played in my face for 8 years, you know, and got another bitch pregnant. And I'm listening to this dumb bitch Holly, and it's occurring to me that she's clowning Romeca while exposing herself, because everything she's saying that she would never do with Romeca, technically she's doing it because she's with the very nigga that left Romeca for her. So in that sense, if Romeca is saying she would never be with a nigga that played in her face, unless she's talking about a different nigga, that would be Carlos, that allegedly played in Romeca's face, and now she's with Holly. Okay, and so Holly, unless she's dumb enough to believe that he's not gonna at some point play in her face, basically what she's doing is contradicting herself. Maybe she is dumb enough to believe that her looks or her stank used cooch or whatever is gonna keep him from eventually playing in her face and fucking with another bitch and getting another bitch or bitches pregnant. Apparently, you know, black females do tend to be that dumb when it comes to these dudes that they be hopping up and down on. So it is what it is. But, you know, just the contradictory nature of this I would never video was just unbelievable. Even if everything she was saying about Romeca was true, and I have no reason to believe that at least some of it wasn't. I have no reason to believe that some of it was true. You know, I mean, it's just a complete contradiction. It makes her look like an even bigger idiot than Romeca, because if she's, you know, saying that this nigga done this to you, he done that to you, well, you with a nigga that you know is cheating, got another female pregnant before you, so you're essentially admitting that you're with a no good ass nigga. How stupid are you, bitch? Anyway, so one thing led to another. Nobody really paid attention to the video. It was basically just a localized drama between two individual nobody ass Chicago hood whores until September 8th, 2025, when Romeca Meeks posted on her Instagram a photo of a letter that she allegedly gave to her young son before sending him off to school on the city's, I believe, southwest side. And after posting that on Instagram, she dropped him off, allegedly, jumped in her white sedan car, and went to leave the school, allegedly, happened to see Holly Johnson and her ex, now Holly Johnson's baby daddy, standing next to a black car as Holly was allegedly dropping off her son that she had with Mr. Carlos Way, aka Losos. And so instead of going on about her day, knowing that Holly has a protection order against her, Romeca decides to do a U-turn, and this is according to witnesses, come back, pull right up next to Holly Johnson and Carlos Way, jump out the car, and start acting like a wild hyena. Now, we know this is typical in the hood. Ghetto people, they act like feral animals. A lot of them. When they are at odds with someone, one of the first things they start doing, and they're programmed this way, is to start issuing threats. Second thing they're gonna do, especially if they have backup, is they're gonna get violent. Okay. And this, incidentally, is why so many of them wind up getting shot and killed, and wind up with criminal records, and wind up in prison. But nobody ever wants to address that issue. Okay, so Romeca jumps out, like it's not about to be 2 versus 1. Like, people don't have things to protect themselves in this world. And I guess Carlos, he tries to step in between Holly and Romeca, and according to witnesses, he grabbed Romeca, pinned her against a car, even put her in a headlock at one point. And while he's wrestling with her, Holly Johnson decides to go into her car, as she's issuing threats that she's gonna shoot Romeca. I'm gonna shoot you, bitch. I'm gonna shoot you, bitch, and retrieve a handgun, assumably a pistol. After she retrieves the handgun, Romeca, either not seeing the handgun or being so worked up that she just doesn't care, she manages to break away from Carlos, that I'm assuming was trying to restrain her. And the moment she breaks away, I never did gather if she moved towards Holly, or if Holly just decided to act. But the moment she broke away from Carlos in the street, Holly, standing at close range, possibly point blank range, which would be 5 feet or less, she basically pulled the trigger and shot Romeca in the face. Romeca went down immediately. Must have struck an artery somehow, even though it was the face, or the brain, and just blood was everywhere. Very, very graphic scene. Very tragic thing to happen outside of small children's elementary school, but it happens every day in the city of Chicago, unfortunately. So now you just have a typical case of a untamable, wild, weave rat, stinky footer Chicago Shaina that couldn't control her emotions, and she was raised by her single, ghetto baby mama that was as wild and as ratchet as her, to think that everybody's supposed to be scared of her, and that the world evolves around her attitude, and the louder and more violent and jittery she gets, the more people are going to be intimidated. And like a lot of other Shainas and Pookies, she found out the hard way that bullets, knives, and a really good ass whooping can, and the police and several other elements of this world can and will tame you. She also found out that if you act like a rabid dog, there's somebody in this world that will put you down like the rabid dog that you're acting. Now this woman who just dropped off her kid, she has a decent job as a CNA. She has her own car. She has her own place. She has a little following on social media. Wasn't that much of a looker, but she was alright for a doable aged, black thought. It is what it is. But now she's laying out here in the streets of Chicago, bleeding out like a pig, looking like a fucking idiot. Here you are, surrounded by people, most of whom you don't know. They're literally watching you die as all the blood pumps out of your body, simply because you could not drive away from the scene and just mind your business. Simply because you could not just leave the nigga that already left you cheating on you and find you another nigga. Simply because you could not tuck your ego into your back pocket. Now, like so many other niggas, and a lot more of these honkies too, like Lavoy Finicum, look that name up. You had to let your ego get the better of you. And now here you are laid out in the streets, dying, looking stupid as hell. Can't do nothing because the blood is almost completely excreted from your veins and your arteries. You're a goner. So somebody starts recording. Chicago police arrive on the scene well before the ambulance and Chicago fire. And, they're trying to administer first aid, but you can look at the amount of blood. I mean, it was so much blood, I had to blurt it out. Very, very graphic situation. But like I said, my guess is that the bullet, even though it hit her in the face, it must have struck an artery, because that was like Charlie Kirk, because that was a lot of blood. But it's another sad, fucked up case of something that was completely avoidable because black people are not taught and don't know de-escalation tactics. They're not taught to de-escalate. They're taught to re-escalate, and they're taught to hyper-escalate. And this is why so many of them wind up in a box and wind up in prison. Over the and at least these three had some type of twisted, troubled history together. A lot of times niggas lose their lives over the stupid shit, over arguments, over peddling shit, over just talking shit. It's really, really pathetic. So, eventually, as you can see in the video, Chicago police arrive on the scene, and they wind up briefly arresting Quadasia, aka Holly Johnson, taking her to the station, charging her with murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Romeca Meeks is taken to a nearby hospital, I think Stroger. It's been so long since I've been to Chicago. I don't even remember where the nearest hospital was. But I think this happened over near the United Center where the Chicago Bulls play. But they took her to the hospital. She died within an hour or two. And, next thing you know, you got another homicide in Chicago. But the twist was that after about 24 hours of interrogating Holly, and I guess interviewing witnesses and looking at surveillance video, the police released Holly Johnson and dropped the charges against her. Or the Chicago, the district attorney's office dropped the charges. And the reason why they dropped the charges was because, according to their investigation, Holly Johnson had successfully defended herself against an attack. Now, I wasn't there. I didn't see what happened. But a lot of people, a lot of witnesses, including this Hispanic chick that called into this Pookie's podcast on YouTube, claimed that Holly Johnson had the opportunity to walk away from the situation or get in her car and leave the situation, meaning that Romeca did not have her cornered. And that is supported by the fact that they were outside. She could have ran away from the scene, or she could have gotten her car and left. So I'm not quite sure what, especially if she took the time to go in her car to retrieve a gun, issued the threats of shooting Romeca beforehand, and then actually did it while Romeca was being restrained initially. I don't know what went into the decision to release her, other than the fact that she's a black female. I don't know what went into that decision by the police and the DA, but nonetheless, like I said, I wasn't there. I didn't see exactly what went down. I know when black Cheyennes get to acting wild, it can be a vicious assault if they get their hands on you. So, whatever transpired, Holly Johnson apparently got away with it. Now, for whatever reason, this pissed a lot of the online black community off, particularly these other ghetto thotbots, these other black thotbots. I mean, they were pissed. They were upset. I have not seen them that upset over, a story that went viral on social media for a while. You know, they were very angry that Holly Johnson got away with shooting Romeca, but they seem to be more pissed at Romeca's ex and Holly Johnson's new baby daddy, Carlos Way, even though he wasn't the one that pulled the trigger. In fact, there was only one black female in all the research that I did of all these angry, whores on social media crying and bawling, talking about, Carlos, it was his fault that this whole thing happened and, he manipulated the two bitches and all that crap. There was only one black female that told the truth about the situation, was that everybody is paying more attention to the baby daddy than the hoe that actually pulled the trigger. Another black female told the truth when she said that, Romeca was out here acting wild in the streets. She had a criminal record. Somebody put her mug shot up where she had a black eye after she got into a fight, apparently with her ex Carlos, and I guess he busted her shit. But she was the only one that was charged, even though you see this big ass swollen welt the size of a golf ball on her eye. She was the only one that was charged with assault. He wasn't charged in that case. So that gives you some sense of how wild and how violent of Shaina she actually was. So this one black female, she said, hey, she blames the family and friends of Romeca, that they should have been trying to calm her down. They should have been trying to get her medication. They were almost bragging about, how wild and how untamed she was, when they should have been trying to get her help. And, somebody finally tamed her. And that's the truth. Like I said in the beginning, you out here running around, you had this one dumb black broad on social media talking about, why didn't Holly just shoot her in the leg? Listen, and I'm gonna say this, but I've known this for quite some time. Black people in general, the overriding majority of black people, have a very distorted view of reality, and they have a completely ignorant view of the law. Okay? Number one, although in a lot of states, including my state, the law does suggest that in a case of legitimate self-defense, you should use force that is proportionate to the threat. Like, for example, if a little 5-year-old kid walks up and punches you in the leg as an adult, you can't just, haul off and, knock the living shit out of them with all your might. You can pin them to the ground and restrain them or something like that. But at the same time, there is no law that requires you to accept a challenge to physical violence. Nor is there any law stating that you have to accept physical violence against you, okay? And that you have to meet physical violence with physical violence, okay? If somebody even unarmed just starts attacking you, okay, in any form, okay, you are authorized to defend yourself. If they are violent to the point where you feel like you or someone else's life is at immediate threat of death and or bodily harm, you are authorized in most states and in most jurisdictions to use deadly force. Now, do I believe that that is what happened in this case? No, I do not. Okay? I believe that words were exchanged between the two bitches. I believe that Holly could have got in her car and left. I believe that Carlos could have restrained Romeca from doing any real damage to Holly, even if Holly was really scared that Romeca was going to hurt her. But nonetheless, she convinced, or the police on their own were convinced, that she was in fear for her life and she was in fear of serious bodily harm and or death. Hence, thus, they dropped the charges or they didn't charge her. Okay? Now, we can make the argument that she should have used lesser force all day. But at the end of the day, black people, and specifically black women, have to understand that, and I said the same thing about Hamas after they committed the October 7th attacks in 2023 against Israel. Do I think that everything Israel does is right? No. Do I think Israel should be leveling Gaza and killing tens of thousands of Palestinians, including Palestinian children? No, I do not. No, I do not. But Hamas put themselves and the rest of the Palestinians in that situation by initiating violence. Okay? That doesn't justify what Israel does, but it turned the green light on. It opened the gateway to that hell that the Palestinians are suffering in now. Okay? Same thing with this Romeca thing. Even if she was unarmed, she should have kept her hands to herself. She should have stayed in her car and she should have drove the fuck away. Okay? Everybody wants to talk about what Holly and Carlos should have done, but in reality, what should have happened from the beginning is Romeca acting like a fucking adult, acting like a responsible mother, okay? Acting like somebody with a brain in her head, and drove the fuck away and left the situation alone and not turned around, jumped out her car looking for a confrontation. Because she did not do that, one thing led to another, and she lost her life. Even if she jumped out her car and Holly shot her point blank, immediately. And Holly was charged with murder and went to prison for life. Even if that happened, it would have been Romeca's fault, because Romeca should have stayed her dumb black ass in the car, and she should have left, just dropped her kid off and left. And see, that goes back to the reason why I think a lot of black females are upset about this situation. They're not so upset at the fact that Holly was not charged in this case, or the charges were dropped. They're not so upset because, a baby daddy was fooling around with two females. No, they couldn't be upset about that. These hoes mess around with dudes all the time, and they don't mind being side chicks to a lot of these dudes that they know have multiple baby mamas already. A la fucking Cynthia G. Remember that hoe? So, no, that couldn't be the reason why they're mad at Carlos and Holly. I think a lot of black females were raising hell about this because they saw themselves in Romeca. They not only saw themselves in Romeca with her being a dark-skinned baby mother and a fire sign, as she was described, but they saw themselves in her when she was gunned down on that street bleeding out like a pig because she was caught acting like a fucking idiot. They see something like that happening to them, or some of them, in the future, because they know that, like Romeca, they can't control themselves, and they think that everybody is supposed to be scared or intimidated, or the earth is supposed to move when they have some type of funky attitude about something. That's why they were so pissed about Romeca. Okay? They were pissed because they see themselves vicariously through her sad, tragic story. They see themselves, black females do not, nobody really, not just black females, not white bitches, not anybody likes to be put in their place. Nobody likes to be checked. The difference with black females is they make a lot of noise and they try to act like they're bulletproof, psychologically and physically bulletproof. Niggas just do this across the board. It's something that's, embedded in the culture. They try to act like they're psychologically and physically bulletproof, when in fact, niggas are some of the most shot and killed and mentally unstable human beings on planet Earth. This is not something that can really be argued with. Okay? And so, if we don't know anything else, we know that there are ways to tame even the wildest beast. Okay? And one of those ways is smoking hot lead. Okay? They didn't like this story. It struck a chord with them because they saw themselves getting hard checked like Romeca, laying her dumb ass in the street bleeding out when she should have drove home like a responsible mother and got ready for work and later on to go pick her kid up. That's what they saw. And it ate away at their already broken psychology. Their already twisted psychology. That's why they were making a big deal about this on social media. Not because they gave so much of a damn about what happened to Romeca or, Carlos messing around with two different hoes, aka baby mothers. Black hoes always talking about, some woman must have hurt you when black men speak their mind about the dysfunction and debauchery of these fucking hookers. But in reality, they're some of the most emotionally hurt and scarred people on earth. If that wasn't the case, their hero, Romeca, wouldn't have been stalking Holly and Carlos at her apartment at 3 o'clock in the morning. And she wouldn't have jumped out her car trying to fight Holly and wound up getting her face blown off. Okay? They're the ones who are really hurt. But they're too strong and independent to admit that they're hurt and go get some fucking psychological help from some fucking where. Another thing that really kind of is indicative of the dysfunction and just the complete ignorance of the black community, especially when it comes to these fucking black bots, is when they were seen on social media at a couple of demonstrations after the killing of Romeca Meeks, I guess outside of the police station, demanding justice. There was this one ratchet black female yelling at the top of her lungs. I honestly, when it comes to you black chicks, I do not understand where y'all get that level of energy. I mean, I've been loud before, but y'all are like loud all the time. It would seem like your fucking vocal cords would snap. I mean, she's just at the top of her lungs, just yelling, "We want justice for Romeca," blah, 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 blah. And this part really goes back to what I've said in general about marches and protests and demonstrations and all of this dumbass shit, that black people basically got the dumb idea from the civil rights movement, or put another way, they got this idea from pictures and other historical fossils of the civil rights movement that historians have posted up on the internet and all of these documentaries. When you type in civil rights movement in Google, for example, what you're going to see in a lot of cases is you're going to see a bunch of niggas marching in black and white photos, holding up signs, and in a lot of those photos you're going to see Dr. Martin Luther King at the forefront of the march. And so niggas over time in these newer generations have falsely associated the successes of the civil rights movement with these marches and these demonstrations, when in fact the success of the civil rights movement and the civil rights era had jack shit to do with any of those marches or Dr. Martin Luther King's "I Have a Dream" speech. They had everything to do with federal intervention in the courts and at the highest levels of government, including under the control of Dwight Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy, and especially Lyndon Baines Johnson, and the passing of legislation by Congress. Okay? That's where the power came into play. All the SCLC and other civil rights organizations, mostly student organizations, did was they provoked confrontations with the crackers down south to make the United States of America look bad enough on TV, okay, to, with the firing of fire hoses and sicking of dogs on black kids, to provoke the people in government to act on their behalf, because they didn't want to be embarrassed in front of the world and in front of their constituents that they were letting this happen just because it was the old South. Okay? Now, there were some things that they did outside of marching that were effective without direct government intervention. One of them was the bus boycotts. Okay? The bus boycotts practically put a lot of Southern public bus service lines out of business because the overriding majority of people that were riding the bus at the time were black folks, because the overriding majority of black folks could not afford a car back then. Okay? So it was hitting them crackers in the pocketbooks, hitting them successfully in the courts, and the direct intervention of the federal government from the White House on down and Congress that brought about the successes of the civil rights movement at the local and state levels. Okay? It didn't have nothing to do with no fucking marching. But the historians, the liberal historians, want you to believe that niggas were not intelligent enough to know how to strategize to win back then. So all they show you, including in these documentaries in a lot of cases, is niggas just marching, walking down streets. And so people, including a lot of white folks, have it in their head now that all you got to do is get out and fucking march and hold up a fucking sign. And I said before that the real reason why the powers that be allow people to have freedom of assembly and freedom to demonstrate and march and speak their mind is because they know, even at these city hall meetings in Chicago where they cussing that nerd Brandon Johnson out over the illegal immigrant thing before Trump came in there and cleared house. They allow that, for people to have open house on their ass because they know words can't hurt them. These people are not emotionally unstructured like y'all, okay? Talking shit to them, including on the internet, don't bother them because unlike you, Negro, they understand how true power works. Hence thus, standing outside of a police station, acting a fool, yelling at the top of your lungs, talking about justice for Romeca is not going to make the DA bring charges against Holly Johnson. Okay? That's not going to make them bring charges and convict a police officer that wind up blowing the brains out of one of these fucking pookies when they caught in the middle of a crime and they start resisting arrest or start trying to get violent. That's not going to change a damn thing. Gavin Long, one of the dudes that ambushed police in Baton Rouge back in 2016, he was crazy as shit. But the one thing that he had right, he showed just a little bit more ounce of intelligence than most pookies when he said these people marching don't do nothing to them and it don't do nothing for them. He said the only thing they understand is money and blood. Money and blood. Money and blood. If you ain't gonna hit them in one, you better hit them in the other. Okay? That's the one thing that he had right. Okay? But you niggas don't seem to understand that. You niggas do not seem to understand that. You can yell all you want. You can demonstrate all you want. Just like that Dallas thought all the way back in 2022. I forget her name. Lundy. That was what her friends called her. They got shot and killed by security outside that nightclub when her and her friends refused to leave. And then she tried to run down the security guards with her car. And, them niggas was outside that nightclub. They were outside that nightclub for weeks, demanding justice and demanding that the nightclub be shut down. They got tired enough of that and then went their dumb asses home and went to another club. I wouldn't be surprised if some of them niggas that was out there eventually wound up going back to that club. Okay? Why? Because they realized, after a while, all they were doing was blowing hot air. You can stand outside off the property and do that all you want. It don't mean shit. Okay? When unions go on strike, yes, they hold up signs, they demonstrate, but that's not what breaks the strike. That's not what makes successful negotiations. That's not what brings the other side to the negotiating table. Okay? It's the effect that it is being had on the business of that corporation that brings about change and brings them to the negotiating table. And if they can replace those union workers, they will. Okay? So again, going back to what I've told y'all for years and years and years, and other people have alluded to this, you niggas do not understand power. You can yell all you want, make demands all you want. Since most of you niggas, including you insta-thoughts, bring nothing to the table but your mouths, your big overweight asses, and your stank pussy, that don't mean nothing to these people. Yell all you want. It's futile. Like the Borg off Star Trek would say, resistance is futile. Your mouth and your attitude and your outrage is futile. It means nothing. Now, to the meat of the video. And you know, this is going to stretch across several different categories surrounding this issue of the wild, untamed, and disrespectful Black American female. As many of you are well aware, social media is almost always abuzz with stories, real life stories of domestic violence. And usually the way the story goes is that a jealous ex-lover or side dude, but usually a boyfriend or husband, current or former, he has a history of stalking a woman that he was in a relationship with, harassing her. She gets a restraining order or some type of other type of order of protection. They go through all kinds of court battles together, and he eventually finds her with another man, or she decides she wants to leave him. He flies into a jealous rage and kills her, and sometimes kills himself. And in general, a lot of the times what you will hear in response to these types of stories is that the man was no good, he was immature, he was abusive, he couldn't control himself, he didn't want to let her go on and live her life. He couldn't move on. He should have moved on and, let her be free. And he didn't own her, but he couldn't let her, live without him. Yada, yada, yada. These men are trash. Men ain't shit. Blah, 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 fucking blah, blah. Now, the general idea behind all of this man hate rhetoric, misogyny, is that, misandry, is that men are rabid dogs when it comes to women. They can't control themselves, they have no respect, they don't want women to level up, they don't like seeing women succeed or move past them, and men are jealous of women's success in progress and advancement in life, when those of us with half a brain know that in most cases this is far from the truth. We also know that in most cases a lot of these women that are killed by men are either as abusive as their and unfaithful as their opposite counterparts, or they deliberately seek out partners that are abusive and unfaithful because they like the idea of competing with other females for the 20% of dudes. If you remember that so-called 80-20 rule, they like competing with other females that are trying to fuck this same small percentage of guys, whether it's a wealthy guy, a good-looking guy, a guy that has high status, a guy that is a thug, but he has street cred. These are the type of guys that these females go for, and in a lot of cases, because they go for these high status but low brain seed having niggas and other types of dudes, the end result of what they get is it does not equate to an overall benefit for them. But they get off on the falsehood that they have in their mind that somehow they're going to, outdo other females by getting with these type of guys. Even if the guy, is showing himself from early on to be a problematic individual with dysfunctional behavior traits. They're attracted to these type of men. And in a lot of cases, females play games with, even so-called good men. And a lot of these dudes are, grade A certified simps. They abuse these men, in every way imaginable, legally, physically, verbally, emotionally. And some of these guys just can't take that, and they snap. She uses him up, spits him out, and then she only wants to move on after she's dragged his face through the mud and shit all over him while doing it. Not everybody can take that type of disrespect. It's not even about rejection. Not everybody can take that kind of abuse. Emotions are very, very strong features on a person, which is why after my last relationship where I broke up with this South Central whore 8 years ago, I never, ever wanted another relationship. I never cared to even pursue another relationship after that. I told you guys that story. But so that's the general idea, that when men, and specifically niggas, they kill their relationship partner or their ex, or some side chick they're messing around with, he's basically a rabid dog that can't control himself. He's violent, this, that, and the third. But see, in most cases, she knew that before she got with the nigga. And in most cases, as I already said, that's why she got with the nigga in the first place. Okay? But that's not the point here. The point is, and the question is, what happens when the situation is reversed? What happens when it's not the man who is the violent, rabid, wild dog that can't control himself? What happens when it's not the man who's violent? What happens when it's not the man who's stalking and harassing and making threats and assaulting his intimate partner or his ex? It's the woman. It's the female. Because as you also know, we've seen a disturbing rise in women harming, including killing, their exes and their current husbands and boyfriends. Usually with knives, guns, sometimes with poison and other objects. One bitch in Chicago many years ago, as you may recall, held her boyfriend down. I guess she weighed more than him. She mounted him and poured bleach down his throat while he was taking a nap. These types of stories are happening more frequently. I don't know what the ratio is of, woman to man killings, but they're definitely on the rise. They've been increasing in the social media generation, as they call it. And what you will notice is that in a lot of cases, the female does not, especially if he's a baby daddy type, if he's a pookie type that gets murdered by the female, even if justice is served to her, she doesn't get as much flack for killing her baby father as the baby daddy does for killing the baby mama, as these niggas love to say. In fact, when these hoes got so butthurt over Holly and the charges being dropped against her, they compared her, I guess because she looked like the hoe, to some light-skinned hood rat hoe down in Georgia, I think around Atlanta, who just got sentenced to 5 years in prison for killing her baby father, who she claimed she was defending herself against, even though the stories have no real comparison to the other. But nonetheless, it does happen, and usually the female, she does, it's not like a case like Jodi Arias, where they threw the book at that hoe and gave her life in prison. In a lot of cases, these bitches, they either get off light or they get off completely. And even if the legal system doesn't let them off light, social media, including a lot of these butthurt whores, they give them a pass on social media. They find excuses for them as to why they did what they did. Just like they're doing in this case. Oh, Carlos was this and he was that. He was manipulating both baby mamas, both females. He put Holly up to shoot Romeca. Blah, 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 blah. Even though there's no factual evidence to corroborate these baseless claims. See, in the mind of a lot of these females, and there are rare women that actually have the ovaries, I can't say balls, but they have the ovaries to stand up on social media, show their face, and call out these other females for who and what they are. Hypocrites, murderers, savages, pedophiles, child abusers, spousal abusers. But in a lot of cases, you're not going to see that. What you're going to see is, especially amongst these ghetto hood hoes on social media that got an opinion about everything that don't count. There's always every excuse in the encyclopedia, the dictionary, and any other book, including Dr. Seuss, as to why these hoes get violent and do what they do to abuse their spouse. He deserved it. He was doing this, he was doing that. Just like what was going on with Johnny Depp and that hoe that he was with. She was accusing him of spousal abuse when in reality, there was video evidence of her abusing him. So the question that sits before us is, why can't women, and especially particularly black women, why can't they take their own advice, like in this case, and just move the fuck on? Tuck their blouse in their pants, stand up with their head held high, and just move the fuck on. Keep it moving. Walk away. Let him go on with his life and be happy with another female. Why is that? Wasn't it some Asian celebrity hoe, some B-list celebrity hoe, not too long ago, that was almost arrested or was arrested outside of her ex black boyfriend, who I think was like a pro athlete's house, for refusing to leave. She claimed she was trying to get her stuff, but he had put all her shit in the garage and had instructed the police to only let her inside the garage, and she was pissed and didn't want to leave the property. And she had been stalking him before that. Why won't these hoes just leave like they tell men? Why can't men move on with their lives? Why can't we be happy? Why don't they want to see us succeed? Why don't they want to see us, separate from them and be strong and independent? Why is it that what's good for the goose is not good for the gander? I mean, these are all rhetorical questions that we know the answer to, because these hoes are mad as hell, because they're crazy, because they don't care about being hypocritical or contradicting, because they feel like the world should evolve around them and their attitude and the way they feel, and fuck everything and anything else. See, because it was never about equality. It was about her trying to prove something which she can never prove, which is her superiority. For the stinky footers like Romeca, who don't look good at all without makeup. I mean, I saw the hoe when Carlos released that video of her attacking him when she got out of her car in that nighttime video. The hoe was ugly. The only reason she looked above basic was because of the weave and the makeup. She was ugly, and that was probably another reason why she was mad. Now, her body wasn't that bad, but her face could go. The other hoe, Holly, she was just above average if you ask me. Wasn't no looker either, but You know, she was a little bit better looking than Romeca, but that's not the point. The point is, and excuse me because I'm sipping some tea, why was Romeca harassing Carlos? Why couldn't she walk away? Some people say, well, he was still fucking around with her. Was he still fucking around with her? Or was she still fucking around with him? Was she letting him know that that pussy was open for business? Because, you know, for a dumb nigga, he'll take pussy any way he can get it, from his current baby mama or his former baby mama. That don't make it right, but it is what it is. Even if he was still open to banging her and spending time with her behind Holly's back, why would she allow it, knowing that he's with another female? I'll tell you why. She did that because it wasn't really about being with that nigga Carlos anymore. It was about competing with the lighter skinned female and proving to herself, whether the bitch was light skinned or not, that she's the better bitch. That she's the badder bitch, even though she wasn't. And when that got flipped on his head, it sent her into a rage. Because she realized him and his penis chose the other female over her. Even though him and his penis was still possibly fucking her. He would rather have been with the other chick. Plus she was light skinned, so that probably enraged Romeca even more. And she couldn't let it go. She couldn't drop it. She couldn't walk away. She couldn't let him move on with his life and be happy. See how that works when we flip it on them? So that's my question to you, strong, independent, most educated black women. Why can't you just walk away? Why can't you just move on? Let him move on with his life and be with who he wants to be with. Why are you trying to control him after he leaves you? You know, the same shit that you throw at us. When, you know, the simps, you know, give all black men a bad name according to you. Why? That's all I want to know. Why? Why do the rules only apply for us, but not for you? Anybody, feel free to answer that question, has a vagina between the legs. I'd really appreciate it. In the meantime, thank you so much for listening, and I will talk to you guys later.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Who you looking at like that? I mean, what you wanna do?
She ain't looking at you like that.
The nails do come on.
Like, step.
Pause.
Step.
Pause.
Step.
Pause.
Step.
What you wanna do?
Step.
I ain't got time for this. I'm too grown. What's up? What's up? Whatever. 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 She right.